All right, welcome to the vent. We're back with another one. Now, if you haven't been here before, basically it is what I just said it is. I'm just going to vent about stuff and talk about stuff that I want to talk about because, you know, it's interesting how the world works sometimes. It's funny the cards that get played, you know? But anyways, today, the first thing that I want to bring up is apparently the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul card that was supposed to air on Netflix, I think sometime in July, was canceled. Or not canceled, but postponed, I should say. Because Mike Tyson had some sort of an issue, some sort of medical issue. He had an ulcer in his stomach, is what I believe it was. And I think he was on a flight when it happened and yeah, so they can't do the fight right now. Which is like, I don't know. I think it just points to another thing. Like, why are we watching, a 58-year-old and a 27-year-old fight each other? You know, it's not like. I mean, I am interested in the fight in a lot of ways because, I mean, it would be cool to see, this old man beat up this young guy, but I mean, Mike Tyson is the underdog in this, understandably so, because he has like 30 years on this kid. But it's like I don't know, man. If he's having these medical issues right before the fight, and if he's not 100%, weeks leading up to the fight, what's it gonna be like when they actually fight? Like what type of issues could he possibly come across when they're fighting? We don't know. And it's honestly concerning. It's like I don't want to see Mike Tyson get hurt. I really don't. I love Mike Tyson. I think he's awesome. I think he's funny. I think he's a legend. And I just think he's just really important to combat sports in a lot of ways. Kind of ways that you can't even explain because he's just one of those figures, that whenever he's around some place that people are fighting, it's just he's a really big attractor there. So yeah, apparently that fight is postponed. Which I mean, we're still gonna watch the fight. We're still gonna see the fight for sure. I just don't know how much is it gonna be. How much is this all going to affect Mike Tyson? And then what other issues is he going to have to be dealing with later in the year? Because I think they said that it would be later in the year. It wouldn't be postponed until next year. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. I really don't want to see, like I said, Mike Tyson get hurt. I would love to see Mike Tyson beat up Jake Paul. I think that'd be really fun. And I think that'd be a real cultural shock. Almost like when Francis Ngannou nearly beat Tyson Fury and he knocked him down. That was a big moment in a lot of ways for combat sports. It just really changed the landscape of how you might view certain fights or certain, how you predict what's going to happen in fights. It's just that it just throws a monkey wrench in everything, and that would be kind of fun, because obviously you're going to assume that the younger guy is going to take on the older guy and pretty much beat him down because it's just, Father Time always wins. It's not something that you can really cheat. I mean, to a certain extent, because we live in the day and age that we live in, there's a lot of, vitamins and supplements that somebody who's as old as Mike Tyson could be taking to increase, the potentiality to be physically, you know, of that caliber to go in a fight with somebody. But in my opinion, there's only so much you can do, you know and it's just even wild that we're here at this point that these two are fighting in a lot of ways. I think a lot of people are like, either people are really excited for it and they want to see it happen, or people are not excited for it and they think that it's kind of a disgrace. Because in my opinion, I think it's almost like a lose-lose for Jake Paul, because I mean, it's a win in terms of the promoting, and you know if you have Mike Tyson on the card, everybody's gonna want to watch it either way. So that was a big win in a lot of ways, but it doesn't mean that if he beats Mike Tyson, okay, he beat Mike Tyson. You beat an almost 60-year-old guy who's been retired for years now. His last fight was, I think, 4 years ago. I want to say, or 3 years ago. Um, which is against Roy Jones, which is an exhibition fight, which, it wasn't exactly you know, the Mike Tyson of old and Roy Jones Jr. of old. Understandably so, because they're over 50. Like, you can only expect so much from somebody who's that age. But yeah, like, basically, I'm saying if he wins, right? It's like, okay, congrats. You did what everybody thought you would do, and then also you took down a hero, you know? So I don't think people are going to necessarily be happy about that, but at the same time, Jake Paul is great at leveraging hate and using that to maintain his popularity. It's a great ploy that people use. You could think about other real famous boxers like Mayweather, for instance. A lot of people wanted to see Mayweather fights because they were wishing that they'd see him lose. You know, but he really was able to leverage that into being more popular and being more successful and creating bigger fights, bigger buzz. So in a lot of ways, Jake Paul is really intelligent in doing that because he knows how to make that and market himself in a way where it's like, yeah, I'm the bad guy. So what? You still got to look at me. Um, so that's really cool that he does that. I mean, like I said, it's a smart business move, a very smart marketing move. But like I was saying, yeah, if he beats Mike Tyson, you take down a hero, and then if you lose against Mike Tyson, you lose a lot of, in my opinion, you lose a lot of steam in your career because you just got beat by, almost 60-year-old man. I mean, obviously it's Mike Tyson. I mean, I'm not walking in there with Mike Tyson, so but yeah, you just don't. You're not gonna have that buzz. I don't think. I mean, either way, people are gonna still watch his fights. I just don't think it's gonna be as interesting if he gets beat by such an old guy, um, and he, you know, like let's say he gets knocked out. It's like Mike Tyson knocks out Jake Paul. Like, what does that mean for Jake Paul's career? You know, because most likely you put Mike Tyson in there with any heavyweight that's of uh like 27, like Jake Paul. Not any heavyweight, but most of the top guys. I mean, Mike Tyson's not making it out. He's just not fast enough. He's not as strong as he used to be. He's just not Mike Tyson at in his 20s anymore. You know, which I mean, you can't blame him. He's just old. He's just older. But that's why I don't think it's gonna be like I said. Either way it goes, it's in my opinion for Jake Paul, it's not like he's gonna get super high praise either way. Which is, I mean, a big risk that he took for taking this fight in the first place. I mean, I heard that he didn't even want to have Mike Tyson as the opponent in this one, but it just ended up shaking out that way. So, um, yeah, we're gonna have to see where that goes. Hopefully, like I said, when they fight, Mike Tyson is 100%, and we could get a really good fight out of him because that's the least we can get out of him is a decent scrap that's pretty well matched is what that's what I'm guessing is gonna happen. I mean, I'm hoping for Mike Tyson, but like I said, I can't really put too many chips on um, that much of an age gap. So yeah, that's what's going on in there, and I just like I said, I'm just very interested to see what happens in the future. Um, but anyways, yeah. So on to the next thing. Apparently, Donald Trump got convicted of something like 34 counts of I'm not sure it's fraud or something, but yeah, like they finally got him. Throwing all this shit at the wall, they finally got him. And just to be clear, I'm not really a Donald Trump fan, and I'm not a Joe Biden fan. I don't really care for politics because I feel like it's all bullshit, and they're all liars and cheats, and they all steal money from the people in a lot of ways. Um, so take that with what I say now. Um, I think this whole Donald Trump shit is like it's all just like I said, throwing shit at the wall, trying to get him. Like this is it's almost clear to me like election interference. Like you're, you know, pushing a whole bunch of trials on this guy right before the election to in some way paint some sort of narrative that he's this or that, and then also have him stuck in legal battles all year, so you can't really focus, on your own campaign running for president. Meanwhile, it's like this is why I don't think it's fair because it's you think about Joe Biden and the Hunter Biden laptop and all the stories about his family and how they've made dealings with Ukraine and that none of that gets investigated at all. None of that even gets brought up. It's like it doesn't even exist, which is like this is kind of if we're gonna look, I'm all good with if somebody's doing something illegally, especially one of our politicians, and they get pressed with the iron for it. Like they get caught for what they do, but it's like it's got to be across the board, like because then this is a fucking bullshit. Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna get this guy because we don't want this guy in there. But Joe Biden, which is like essentially almost a corpse, we're gonna keep applauding him and saying that he's cognitively capable to run a whole country when in reality it's obvious. You could see any video of his and notice that there's something that's not firing correctly, and it's there, but there's no attention to that. There's no there's no investigation into whether this man is even fit to run a country, you know. But then because there's the narrative about Donald Trump and you know him saying that this is bad or that just being Donald Trump, the figure that he is. You either love him or hate him. Um, you it's just like I said, it just feels like a witch hunt, and it feels unnecessary because if our democracy would just be a real democracy and just allow candidates to run off of their ideas and principles and not be basically bashing each other all year until the election comes, then maybe we can get some real candidates up there, people who are actually trying to make the country a better place instead of just um, making themselves more money or providing for their colleagues and constituents instead of the American people. And I mean, I think since I've even been a kid, I've always known it was just bullshit. Like it was all just a facade. It was all made to look real nice, and that we're trying to help the world and we're trying to help the U.S. and But meanwhile, you see all these people who are politicians and they're making millions of dollars a year on their salary is not that, and then you wonder where's all this money coming from. But that doesn't get investigated. That doesn't get talked about. Uh, that doesn't even get anything, any type of notice. So, but then you got Donald Trump fighting off what, like I don't know how many 10 something convictions or something like that. Um, about what exactly? I don't even know. Like I said, because they don't really even make it clear. They just, in my opinion, they just throw shit at the wall and like hope that it sticks. And then apparently this one stuck. Now, I don't know what this conviction means for him running for president because I guess he's technically a convicted felon. But it's weird to even celebrate that they got Donald Trump. Like I said, when the other guy, which is Joe Biden, doesn't get investigated for any of the corrupt things that he's done or he's been involved in. Like I said, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to go after politicians and hold them to what they say and hold them accountable for breaking the law. But if we're gonna do it, let's do it on both sides and not make it so that it's like, oh well, the bad guy got caught, so this is nice. Now we have the good guy. Thank the Lord, because in reality, that's not what it is. It's like there's a lot of lying on both sides, and there's just a lot of bullshit either way. So to say that it's this guy or that guy, and this guy's a bad guy, this guy's the good guy, it's like why don't we just look at what the policies and changes they want to enact, and really hold them accountable for what they say. If they say they're gonna do something, that's not one thing I'm tired of. Like presidents always be like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It's just like fucking do it. All right. Like you're gonna say you're gonna help the American people or give them this or that. It's like then fucking do it. Don't just say it and be like, oh yeah, I mean, the bureaucracy's crazy. You got to go through all these bureaucrats and all this. It's like, I mean, if that's the case, then you know, why don't you develop a team or make a house that's, you know, able to cut through that and cut through the lies? And if not, if you can't cut through the lies, then expose the people that are, making it impossible for you to enact the changes that would truly be better for, the US and the world in a lot of ways. Because it's like everybody's like, oh yeah, fuck Trump, like yeah, he got convicted, but it's like, bro, when Trump was president, yeah, I mean, sure there was problems. There's problems with every president. There's no president that gets elected and there's no problems. I mean, it's impossible to fix all the world's problems in 4 years, or even the country's problems in 4 years. And then, but I mean, when Trump was president, there wasn't two wars going on simultaneously. And I know that's not, you can't put that all on the president, but I think all this funding that we're throwing at these wars, especially when we need funding here, it just doesn't make sense. It's there's certain cities that are collapsing, because they don't have infrastructure, they don't have police to guard streets, they can't even enforce the laws, they can't protect the people. It's like, what are we doing here? It just feels like, I don't know. It just feels ridiculous, and I think, like I said, I'm fine with us going after politicians, but let's have let's keep that same energy for the other ones that we also know are bullshitting and stealing and lying and manipulating and taking advantage of the system. Let's do that, please. Could we do that? That'd be pretty nice. But I don't know. It's just what seems to be happening lately. So on to the next thing. Apparently the new iPhone. Well, they just came out with the new iPad, but the new iPhone, the 16 is gonna have AI. Now I heard a rumor that it's gonna. I guess they did a deal with OpenAI and ChatGPT to have that, sometime in some way into the system. Um, but I don't know what it's gonna look like. Obviously, Siri's gonna be, you know, upgraded like Siri 2.0, whatever. Um, but it's like I was saying before though in my last video, it's like it's all coming so fast and it's gonna be here, and pretty soon it's just gonna be everywhere. Like I said, it's you won't even have your phone and not have AI there. So it's yeah, it's just the next step in the evolution. Like pretty soon we're gonna have AR AI in our house, just to make things easier or set reminders, make appointments, do this or that. It's coming so fast, like I said, it's just wild. I'm excited to see though. I mean, I'm trying to get that new iPhone because my iPhone's kind of fucking up right now, so it's like, I need to get a new one. But um, I'm gonna really be having fun with those new AI features, depending on what they are. Hopefully, no, they're not catching me. Doing some stupid shit. They're like, oh, you said that you would read today. What are you doing? Watching Game of Thrones? And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully it's not gonna start judging me and shit, and making me feel some type of way because you never know. I mean, even now, like your iPhone will be like, "Hey, man," um, it'll tell you like right before you're about to go to work. Hey, yo, it's like 24 minutes to work. You should probably get going now. You know. So we're gonna see what that's gonna be involving, and hopefully the new iPhone is also like a step above too, and they're not, you know, just kind of shuffling out the same kind of thing. Because I think that, in my theory, I think like if you buy a new iPhone every year, you're almost just buying the same iPhone, just with like, you know, a little bit of an upgrade or a little bit of change here and there. Because I don't care who, like, how good they are. You can't make a whole new device that's capable of doing a lot different things in a year. Technologically at least. I mean, that's just why. I mean, this is coming from a guy who doesn't know much. Let's be honest. I don't know much, but it just doesn't seem realistic to me. It's kind of like NBA 2K. Like if you get 2K25, you know, it's like 2K26 is gonna be, 2K25 with a little bit of mustard on it. So I don't think that it's that crazy when you buy like, well, no, I do think it's crazy if you buy like, you know, an Apple, iPhone 15, then you get a 16. Like I'd rather wait like 4 or 5 years before, and then shit will really be changed in the phone, and then I feel like then you get like, you know, all the spicy upgrades and all the new gadgets that they have, and you'll actually be able to enjoy it. Because realistically, like I said, the only thing that changes usually is the camera and a couple of iOS features, which you get either way if you get the updates. So, and maybe a difference in the button or two, you know? So it's not that crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like there's been a couple of leaps. Like when they took out the home button, that was a real big leap. Like, fuck that home button to be honest with you. That shit sucked. Cuz it was like every time, every iPhone that I ever had, the home button would fuck up. So, and I remember when Face ID came out, everybody's like, oh, now they're going to have your face, you're going to have your ID, man. It's like, they're getting all your information. It's like, bro, yeah, but if I could just like open my phone real quick and I don't have to press shit or put in a passcode or my finger, because also the fingerprint shit kind of sucked too, you know? You'd be like, I'm trying to get my finger on it, but it just wouldn't, sometimes it just wouldn't scan at all. And then you're like, oh, I just have to type my password. Face ID though, it just looks at you. It's like, oh, word, I know who you are, So I do, when they come out with the big changes like that, it is appreciated. So we'll see where that goes. And, hopefully, like I said, they really do something special with this new one. But finally, I like to talk about, to bring it back to fighting because I love fighting and stuff like that. Freaking Conor McGregor was seen partying, and apparently his fight is like 6 weeks away from Michael Chandler, which I mean, we all know like Party McGregor. I mean, you could call him Party McGregor. You could call him Party McGregor. I mean, he likes to have a good time. There's plenty of videos where this man got his shirt off. This dude is living like, I mean, he looks like Jeff Bezos with hair and tattoos. Like this man's on a yacht. He's freaking shadow boxing. He got his wife, just totally down. And honestly, let's be honest. The video that came out where, the most recent video is him in the club, and then his wife is like, licking his abs or whatever, which is pretty cool, I think. Shout out to his wife though. That's a real down one. You know what I'm saying? Like that seems like something that, some bimbo would do. Some chick that you just met or whatever. It's like, oh, Conor McGregor, whatever. But his wife is over here having a good time with him. And she's enjoying the fruits of his labor and, the dynasty that he's been able to build. Um, but it's pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? It's like that, McGregor's wife's probably pretty chill, yo. Like, look at her. She's having fun with him. The concerning thing is just that this man has a fight in 6 weeks and he's over here, living la vida loca. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can do that to a certain point. It's like, all right, 10 weeks out, all right, that's cool. 6 weeks out, it's like fight camps usually like 6 to 8 weeks, I think. But to be doing that, man, you're taking a big risk, man. Like you're taking a big risk in your preparation and your ability to be 100% when you get into that fight. Because I know a fight camp is really calculated on how they do things, and they don't just they push hard at some places and they relax in some places, and you need time to rest and recover, and it's all balanced out so that by the time that you're at fight week, you're about as 100% as you can be, because you can only hold that you know that level of athleticism and focus and concentration for so long. So it's all measured out so that it could be there by the time it's fight day, that they're good. So yeah, I really hope that, like I said, he is not taking Michael Chandler lightly. Because Michael Chandler's a beast. I mean, you every time you see this man, he's in the gym doing some shit. So it's like, I don't know, man. I'm a little worried for McGregor in this one because it's like it would honestly not even be bad too though if he retired and he's like done. Hopefully though he wouldn't retire on a loss. I don't think he would want to do that. But he's getting up there in age. He's probably like 34, 35 or something like that. That might not be old like to most people, but in combat sports, like once you reach past 35, you have to maintain a real high level of consistency and determination to be, still be at that level. Because if not, all these other young guys and all these people who've been training for years, they'll just run right over you. And you always see it too when the young guy, there's like, some guys like 33, 34, and then there's a guy who's like 26, 27, and they fight. I think it's like the odds are like 10 to 2 or something, whether the old guy wins or just gets steamrolled by the young guy. Because time is a bitch, you know? And if you're not taking all the necessary steps to, guarantee your success when you start getting older in that sport, um, yeah, I just don't see that you get better. And like understandably so, why Conor McGregor is having a good time. I mean, this man's like uber rich. And he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't really even have to fight. Like I said, he could stop fighting at this point, and he still goes down as one of the greatest, just because of his legend and all the things that he's accomplished in the sport, and just the notoriety and fame that he's brought to MMA in general. Um, but yeah, I just hope, like I said, that he's taking this fight seriously and that he just, he has a good camp and it's a good fight out of him because I don't want to see, like, I'm not a Conor McGregor hater. Like, I like Conor McGregor. I just don't want to see him have to get to a fight with Michael Chandler and then not feel, kind of get busted up again, like in the first Dustin Poirier or the second Dustin Poirier fight that he had, where he was looking all right, he wasn't looking bad, but then he got beat down, and I think he was definitely focused for that one, but it's just like I said, that sport is so unforgiving, and you really got to be doing everything that you can to be the best. So um, we'll see how that goes. Like I said, all the best to both of them. What we can hope for as a fan, at least, is just a good fight. Something that's competitive, something that's fun to watch, and something that's that's entertaining, and because I mean, obviously that fight's gonna be huge. So um, yeah, I just hope it's a good one, and I hope that Conor McGregor is, getting in that gym and getting after it, like the Conor of old, because that would be awesome to see him come back and he's just as ferocious and as beast as he was before. Because I mean, apparently there's even rumor that he might be fighting for a new title in that fight. Like they might make a 165-pound class or something like that. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I mean, if they'd make a new weight class for anybody, it'd definitely be Conor McGregor. So, yeah, but we'll see how that goes. But anyways, thanks for your time. If you like the videos, like and subscribe. And goodbye.